Alright, welcome back to DajibanLife. I'm here. It's the next day in the morning. Now you guys can really see the extent of the damage. Yeah, that tire should not be looking like that unless some sweet camber going on. It's stanced. But basically, that wheel is just being held on by the upper ball joint at this point. That's why it's at that weird angle, because the lower ball joint pretty much is destroyed. So the ball joints that I ordered are supposed to come today, but the app says it's not coming till later on tonight. So basically today's kind of a waste of a day, waiting for parts basically to arrive. There's not much I can do right now as far as prepping the van for repair, because it's in the middle of the street and I don't want, you know, my wheels just to be, you know, out in the middle of the street, because somebody's gonna come by and pick it up. So I'm probably just gonna wait till the delivery gets here and then start fixing it tomorrow morning first thing. But in the meantime, there is something that I can do today, which I've been wanting to do because it's been annoying me, is fixing my wing. So I bought some JB Weld. It's a quick weld. Since I can't weld the wing, you know, with aluminum, since I don't have a TIG welder right now, I decided I would just get some of this, and you know, it says there's weld in the name of it, so I figure it'll work. I've used JB Weld before and it's pretty strong, so I think it'll work. I think it said there's something like it has a tensile strength of 3000 psi. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's enough. 3000 psi, the amount of downforce that this wing generates, you know, I mean, it's snapped in half, for God's sake. Oh, and my backup camera is broken. It just came off. Oh yeah, that's just dangling. I think that's broken. So I might have to glue that back on or something, because yeah, the plastic broke there. So it must have gone through a lot of stress on the tow truck yesterday, or something fell on it. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's done for. So I'm gonna have to fix that. I think the wires are still intact. I didn't notice that till just now. So yeah, obviously, good thing I got this. That sucks that this broke right as I got the quick weld, because it wasn't broken before. So that's just another thing I have to fix. So basically it looks like the van's starting to fall apart. Maybe it's a sign telling me that maybe I should give up van life and go back to normal living. Thank God that my ball joint didn't go out on the freeway. You know, comparatively, it's small beans. Some of the stuff, it's kind of inconvenient, but definitely life is better than no life. And so, you know, I don't know about you, but things like that kind of make me believe in a higher power. I know if you don't feel that way, that's fine. You know, like, no one's judging anybody here. But just I've had a bunch of things like that happen in my life, where just maybe, you know, a few hours or a few minutes or like a day or two here and there, earlier or later, and I probably wouldn't be here right now. But things just sort of worked out where it's just like, oh, something happened, but you know, good thing it happened then, or else it would have been catastrophic. You know what I mean? Like, I would not exist anymore. So I do feel like maybe I'm sort of protected in a way, because there's no reason why it should have broken, you know, at that time and not on the freeway, because I was on the freeway like not more than like a few minutes before when the ball joint actually went out. And like I said, in my life, there's been a bunch of other times when stuff like that has happened, and I was fine. So, yeah, it just, you know, kind of makes you think, you know, maybe there's some sort of, my purpose is not completed yet or something on this earth, or I don't know, maybe it's not my time, whatever it is. But, you know, those are things that I don't really know, and I don't really care to find out too much. I'm just glad and thankful. So, yeah. Alright, it's the next morning. I received my ball joints, so all right here. I got the Moogs, so that should definitely be better than the cheap eBay ones that I had in there. That lasted a good long while. You know, I'm not hating it. I got all my tools ready here. To do this job, you'll need this special adapter. It's not an adapter. It's a ball joint removal socket, basically. That's made specifically for these cars. I don't remember what it's called. I bought it off Amazon. If you go online and search for the part, it'll come up. And because it's a 1-inch drive, you also need a 1-inch drive. What do you call it? A socket wrench. And then a pipe, because the amount of force that the upper ball joint's on is like 225 foot-pounds or something. And I'm a lot stronger now than I used to be, so maybe I won't need the pipe, but having an extension pipe to give you a little bit more leverage is gonna be helpful. All right, so before we start that, I'm gonna check and see how my wing, how it's set. I mean, oh, it's still tacky. That's weird. It's been like more than 12 hours. It's weird that the JB weld is still tacky. It should be set like epoxy, but I don't know. That seems pretty stiff, I guess. Wow, these stickers are really I should just take them off, honestly. But yeah, I'll probably strip this down at some point and maybe paint it. I don't know. After doing this, I don't think sticker bombing stuff is a very good idea unless you seal it somehow with like a layer of epoxy or something. But it's weird that the JB weld's still tacky. But hopefully that sets nice and hard. You know, that's what she said. Alright, so I got the wheel off, and looking at this, if you can see down here, I don't know if you can see that. Is it too dark? But right here, you can see that's the ball joint. That's the ball joint housing. So it completely came out. So yeah, that could have been really bad if that happened on the freeway. But fortunately, it didn't. You'd be surprised about how few contact points there are with like actual important pieces, like moving pieces on your car. Like really, all that this is held in by, your rotor, is through the spindle, right? And then those two ball joints and this tie rod. And that's pretty much all that's holding your wheel onto your car. So any one of those, parts, fail, then pretty much your wheel's done for. You know what I mean? There's other things like that, like the drive shaft is basically in the transmission. It's just, slid in there, and it's not, bolted down or anything. It's basically there's not enough space for it to fall out. But really, your rear end, all it's being held in by are a couple of screws, and not even, like, your springs basically hold your axle onto your car, or else it's just kind of floating there. So it's very interesting how some of this stuff is designed. I particularly don't like the Dodge Van's design, especially the upper control arm, because it's solid. I like the control arms that are kind of like open in the middle, so then you can work on the strut tower easier because you have access to it. This way, you have to either, take all this stuff off to flip it up to work on the top of the shock mount, or try to get in from the back where you can't really see anything. But whatever. Basically what you have to do is take the brake caliper off, right? And then you can take off the rotor if you want, but you don't have to. I think I'm going to in this case, just to check to see that the wheel bearings are good. And I found a pair of wheel bearings in my glove compartment that are brand new, so I figure I might as well swap those in while I'm at it. And then you just undo this guy, right, and undo this guy down here, these two, and then the entire spindle will come off. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Brake caliper off. And now I'm going to take the rotor off, and it's just undoing the nut here and checking the things. I got the brake caliper bungee corded to the chassis for now. This is really bad design because like the brake line runs under this way, so, and the brake caliper is too big to fit pass through, so it's this juggling act that you have to do. I'll probably, you know, move this at some other point once I get the spindle off so that the caliper's out of the way more. But yeah, they could have ran the lines back this way and around, you know what I mean? Would have made this thing much easier to work on. But yeah. So the bearing actually looks okay. This is the outer wheel bearing, and then the inner one I checked looks okay too. So I'm not going to reuse this though. I have new wheel bearings, so I might as well use the new ones. But yeah, everything else looks good. There's a lot of crud back here. I need to clean that off. But the spindle looks good. Doesn't look bent. Like nothing wrong with it. It looks like here's where it rubbed. Probably when the ball joint popped out, it caused the wheel to sort of angle inward, and it was probably grinding on the back of the rotor right here. You can see there's like a score mark on the inside edge. That shouldn't affect it too much. I was gonna get new brakes soon anyway, and I should probably get new rotors while I'm at it. So new, because these pads are pretty thin. I was gonna do that maybe in a couple months. So I should probably do it now since I have everything apart, but I don't have the parts. So I'm just trying to get this fixed and back on the road, you know? Alright, so the spindle's off. It's here. Now comes the hard part, which is going to be getting the top of the ball joint off because it's not connected to anything. And especially because it's not fixed to here, it's going to be kind of hard. I'm going to need to pound that out somehow. Alright, well, progress update. I got everything off except for the ball joint itself. The part of it is still stuck. I was thinking I could maybe press it out using the press here, ball joint press, but the loaner one I got from AutoZone, it doesn't thread onto itself, so the threads are messed up, it seems like. So I'm gonna see if they have another one, and return this one because it doesn't work, or maybe I might just go to Harbor Freight and pick up a ball joint press kit for myself. It's kind of expensive, it's like $100, but yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have one, I guess, in case I do ball joint work in the future. Even though I don't plan to as much, but at least I know a new one will work for sure versus the loaner. I guess I should have tested it in the store. Alright, sweet. After a trip to Harbor Freight where I picked up this ball joint service kit, which works a lot better than the loaner one since it wouldn't thread, I got the I had to take this part of the spindle off. As you can see, the front part of the spindle is on the thing right now, and this is the back part, so I could, you know, get at the thing. And what I did was I just basically, you know, pressed it down and just hammered on it until it came out, and there it is. So yeah, that took a couple hours. I don't think I'm gonna get to the other side today, but I think I'm gonna be able to finish this side at least and up and running, so I can at least move the van. I might have to finish the other side tomorrow. Alright, so got this pressed out. It's just like dust in there. I think it like maybe ran out of grease or something. I don't know. The boot was pretty torn, so the grease might have just dried up. So yeah, this is a non-greasable kind. So if it was a greasable kind, I would have added grease, but because it has no nipple to fill it with grease, yeah, these are not good. You want to buy the kind like Moog sent me. Where are they? Oh, they're in the box. They're inside. I'll get them later. I'll show you guys. But you want the ones that are greasable, and check them, I guess, every so often, so you don't have a problem like me. But basically, now we're on the home stretch. We just need to install the new ball joints, grease them, and put everything back together, and it should be fine. Get this, you know, change that guy out. Shouldn't be too hard because that one's not broken. All right, that's all pressed in. So that's looking good. I think it's flush pretty much. Gonna go ahead and put the boot on here. Might need 2 hands for this. Alright, boots on. That was harder than I thought it would be. I had to actually press the boot on, which is kind of nice. That means it's not going to come off. It's not like the other kind I had, the cheap kind, where it just kind of fell off. So this is nice. Pressing them on, that means it's going to last a long time. It's Moog. Very nice, nicely made. So I'm going to go ahead and grease it one more time so that some grease kind of comes out through the little opening. I know that's probably going to be overfilled because once I tighten everything down, it's going to squeeze out. But you know, that's fine. More grease is better than no grease, you know, or less grease or whatever. So too much is never a bad thing. Just wipe it off. Alright, upper ball joint is off. Oh, that's still kind of hot from coming off. But yeah, and time to replace this one. This is also a sealed one, so you can't grease it. But this one seems okay. This still works. It's not broken at all. So I might save this just in case, you know, have a backup in case something happens on the road again. There she is, all buttoned up. Should be good to go. New ball joints, upper and lower. I even changed out the stabilize sway bar, sway links or whatever they're called. Just because I thought it was time to replace those, because you can see the old one is bent. And the bushings were really crappy. So upgrade to these poly bushings. Grease this tie rod. The inner tie rod I didn't grease. I think I'll get to that tomorrow, because as you can see the sun is going down, but the wheel is ready to be put back on. And yeah, maybe, you know, go for a test drive or something. So well, everything feels good so far. I didn't really go that far or drive that long, but just kind of made a couple circles and, you know, went in reverse, just kind of testing things out. But everything looks good and it feels okay. And the tires, you know, they look straight enough. I guess it's a little bit toe out, looks like. But that's not that big of a deal, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's how you change a ball joint. Tomorrow I'll do the other side, and then I'll leave the camera on instead of turning it on and off, just because I didn't want to set up like a tripod in the middle of the street for people going by in the neighborhood. But I'll be working on this side tomorrow, right? So I should probably pull my van over a little bit that way. But I'll be working on this side, and then here it's on the driveway, so I'll set up a tripod so you guys can pretty much like watch me change those out. Today it just took a little bit longer than it should have, just because I had to get the little stud out of the spindle. Normally you just use a ball, like a pickle fork, and you just bang on it and it pops out, and it's really fast. I could have probably switched out those ball joints in about 2 hours, like an hour per. But because, you know, the tool didn't work that I loaned, so I had to go buy one, and then also trying to get that thing out, you know, ate up a lot of time. So ate up more time than I thought, than I imagined, than I anticipated. And so tomorrow I'm hoping this side goes a lot more smoothly. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Well, thanks for watching.